Welcome to online worship at First Unitarian Church of Rochester. It is a good day to join us in our mission through spiritual connection in community. We listen deeply to others and ourselves. We open to wonder and transformation, and we serve together with love and humility. We're worshiping online, but we continue with our experiments and learning here in the sanctuary and in our worship together. Today, we're joined in leading worship not only by the professionals that I'll name, but also those among this congregation gathered who join us today to help us bid farewell to Reverend Margoley. Today, I'm leading worship along with Reverend Margoley, our assistant minister, Reverend Molly Brewer, our youth minister, Sheila Shu, Shannon Foose, Tommy Snell, Elizabeth Krecka, Brock and Emily, and Orange Guy, and Susie, and Julie, and Elias, and Maya, and Jess, and well, it's a lot of folks. And it's not just worship, but after we gather for this sacred hour in this sacred place, which is wherever it is that you happen to be, we'll gather after the service for a special goodbye celebration for Reverend Margoley. So I hope that you'll join us. Today is a special day for lots of reasons here at First Unitarian. Not only do we say goodbye to Reverend Margoley, but we say goodbye to Reverend Molly, and we celebrate the bridging from high school seniors into young adulthood of three important and special people here in the life of this community. Here at First Unitarian, we know that it's not just the people that you see on the screens, but the hands and the work of many people that make religious community possible. Our ushers and greeters are there making everything we do possible. And we have a chat chaplain on hand. If you're going through a hard time or you're worried about someone else, please reach out to them. We are here for you. That was a lot. It is good to be together. Take a breath with me. Let us light our chalice together. Please join in our unison words as Reverend Margoley lights our chalice here for the last time. May the flame we now kindle inspire us to use our power to heal with love, to help with compassion, to bless with joy, and to seek liberation in the fullness of community. I mentioned previously that today is a special day because we celebrate bridging. It is an important marker in the life of a young person here at the church, where they go from being a child and a youth, probably brought into this community by their parents or some adult in their life, and moving into young adulthood, where they claim Unitarian Universalism for their own. It's a special moment in the life of a high school senior, but it's a special moment for all of us here at First Unitarian. The people who are among us, by their presence and their absence, change us. They mark who we are. And as people grow and develop within us, within our community, we too collectively grow and develop. Please join us in this bridging ceremony.
It's kind of a rare thing, I think, nowadays that a community or a person gets to participate in the growth of a child outside of their family for many, many, many years, like I have for the last dozen years with these graduating seniors. Thank you, Robert and Allie. Thank you, Christina and Kyle. And thank you, Kirsten and Mike, for your trust in me to be beside you on this journey of raising our children in this faith together. Through anxious times, through times of grief, through the joy of new skills and becoming more of themselves, through lots of laughter and lots of struggle and the tricky choices all along the way. Thank you for entrusting these pieces of your heart to mine and to this faith community. I am so very proud and honored to be witnessing these three amazing humans emerging into adulthood, bearing the hope of RUUism with them. Jess's abundant consideration of others, Elias's fierce pouring of love into life, and Maya's steadfast work for liberation. But I have not been alone in this work. This year, Molly, our youth coordinator, has provided grounding support all the way from Maine all year long. And Molly, you too are bridging today into another place on your journey in ministry. And so I take a moment to offer a quote. This is by Pauli Murray. True community is based upon equality, mutuality, and reciprocity. It affirms the richness of diversity, as well as the common human ties that bind us together. Molly, you have nurtured this kind of mutuality with our youth and our RE team, who loves you. One firmly celebrating individual diversity as well as the common ties. I would like to take a moment to bless your feet, Reverend Molly. I do this with the gratitude for your rooting of our youth in a faith of mutuality over a very rough path that we've had and we've traveled together this year. And I bless you wherever your path leads on.
And now I invite all of our youth to hold out your hands if that feels comfortable, or simply to open your hearts to blessing. For our youth, and especially for those who are bridging today, blessed be the work of your hands as you go forth from this moment. Whether your role in this world is to build, to join and connect, to create, to comfort, or to protest for justice, may the power of all those future moments rest now in your open hands and open hearts, calling you forth and reminding you of what it is to be held. The power of this blessing cannot come from only one person alone, but from a community of love and care. In this knowledge, may you unfold your own path in beauty, magic, and courage. The first evidence of this care will be by a younger youth or parent who will speak to how you, as bridging seniors, have impacted this community. And then our bridgers will share one life-changing lesson learned in their growing up at First Unitarian, which they will apply in life going forward. Let us open our minds and hearts in grateful presence for Jess, Elias, and Maya.
Over the years that Jess has been here, he's provided so much to youth group. His musical talent that he's been all too willing to share has provided so much to our youth services and other youth-led projects. He's reliable. You can always count on him to get involved in some sort of capacity. He's always willing to show up and be there, whatever that may mean. And he's friendly and charismatic, just a natural leader. Whenever he gets involved and whenever he gets in there, he really inspires a lot of other people to get involved as well. I know that I've felt that way, and I definitely have observed other people feel that way. Thank you so much, Jess.
One of the most important things I've learned throughout all my years in RE, Spiritual Survivor, Coming of Age, and Youth Group is that there's never one correct answer to anything, and that beauty lies in perspective.
Hi everybody, I'm Elias's mom, Allie. When I think about what Elias has contributed to our community, I think of three things. I think of attitude, talent, and time. I can't tell you how many times I've come to Elias and said, we need somebody to sing with us or play the piano with us for an Orange Sky tune. Can you please learn this as quickly as possible? And he comes with a great attitude, with his talent, and he dedicates his time to make sure we have a nice song to perform for everyone. The best example I can also think of that is when the First Universalist Church of Rochester downtown needed somebody to help perform their Christmas service. So Elias went with a great attitude, brought his talent, and it took a lot of time to rehearse with Brock and all those folks downtown to put on a nice holiday service for them. I'm so grateful that Elias is my son. I'm so proud of him and all of you. Great, congratulations.
Youth group has taught me a lot about myself and how to use my strengths to help those in my community. There are two things in particular that I will bring forward with me into my adulthood as I graduate from youth group. Youth group has taught me a lot about growing as a person. In particular, to use the wealth of teachings from around the world to help better myself. The other thing that I will bring forward is this desire and drive to help those in my community. I will be forever grateful for the time that I spent in youth group learning and experiencing life with others. Thank you.
The two traits I admire most about Maya are her ability for commitment and her passion towards causes she believes in. I used to see her sitting in corners of the church, studying, staring at her laptop, seeming focused and determined. And I would admire how much she was able to motivate herself to do something when she wanted to do it. She is also a fantastic motivational speaker, drawing and directing the attention of the crowd with her words and drive towards justice. I recall sitting at one of her sermonettes, just marveling at how well she was doing. Her enunciation and passion for the subject she was talking about were clear and inspiring. I am certain, Maya, that you will do amazing things with your life, and I can't wait to see what those are.
The biggest thing I've learned from being a Unitarian Universalist for the better part of my life is who I am at the root and the core of me. I've found the values that I want to live my life by. I've watched how people I look up to in this faith live out their values and how that can look in my own life. Being given the responsibility and opportunity to identify what I believe gave me a sense of agency that empowered me in 9th grade and continues to empower me and left me with a sense that as long as I know who I am, what I believe, what I value, what I cherish, I can go anywhere and can do almost anything. And that no matter where I am, I will do the things that align with my values.
Jess, Elias, and Maya, this community has helped shape who you have become. And you have helped shape this community, this faith. Unitarian Universalism is yours. It's not yours alone, but if you choose it and continue to make your spiritual home here, just as it has helped form you, you too help form our shared gathering. Your presence matters to us. And through sorrows and joys, challenges and growth, goofiness and achievements, through all that lies ahead, please know that this is your home. For those of us gathered, both children and adults, this transition moment is big for these 3 people, but it's big for all of us because we are ever changed by those among us and the ways they enter into this community. So as Elias and Maya and Jess move from children and youth to adults in our community, we too are changed by that. The 3 of them are about to cross physical bridges. So I invite each of us to bear witness to this transition in their lives and in the life of this community. While they are crossing bridges, I invite you to make a bridge with your arms or your hands, or maybe with someone close to you. Let us hold them in this bridging.
Hi, Bridgers! My name is Jacob Santos.
I'm Allison Hess. And I'm Dylan Nowinski-Stern.
And we would just like to give a big congratulations and a warm welcome to all our Bridgers.
We're part of BRUYA, the Rochester UU Young Adults group. And we hope that you will join us. We've been meeting on Zoom, but hope to have in-person gatherings soon.
As you begin to think about your bridge from as youth to young adulthood, we would just like to give you a warm welcome to our young adult, to a new relationship with the church, to be able to know that you're welcome with us here in Rochester, or if you find yourself in a new community at another time in your life, that you are welcome to join again with the UU Church and find a relationship with the people who you see in a new community.
As a young adult Unitarian Universalist myself, young adulthood was full of different challenges, new places to live, new experiences, trying to find a job. But finding a religious community for me was really important, especially in the new town I ended up moving to. So whether you're staying here in Rochester or you're moving somewhere new, I just ask that you encourage you that you find a religious community to be at. And it may seem a little tough because sometimes it doesn't feel like there's a lot of other young adult Unitarian Universalists in their early to mid 20s.
But we're out here! Wherever you are, there's a community of Unitarian Universalist young adults, the UU Young Adult Revival Network, YARN, that's available to be a community for you.
We look forward to seeing you.
Please join me now in singing What a Wonderful World.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful
Good morning. Please join us now in the spiritual practice of generosity. Each week, members and friends generously contribute to our offering, which helps to sustain and grow our community. This collection supports the work and witness of our church. Each week, we split our collection with a community organization. We give 50% toward partners helping those in need and working to create a more just and loving world. This week, we are sharing our plate collection with Girls Rock Rochester. Girls Rock is a non-for-profit organization dedicated to using music creation and performance as tools for cultivating self-confidence both in girls and the LGBTQ+ youth. There are many ways to give. You probably know them all, including Venmo and Simple Church. Our offering will now be received with gratitude.
2, 3, 4.
I invite you now to join me in turning inward for a time of prayer and meditation. Bring awareness to your breath, and whether you are sitting or standing or lying down, allow yourself a little more ease, a little more comfort. Let us pray. Spirit of life, divine breath that animates the dancing universe, we celebrate today the winds of change. Unpredictable winds of adventure carry aloft our high school seniors who have now bridged into their young adulthood. Aid them in flying high, that we all might lift our gaze and follow their lead into the future. Trade winds of travel, fill the sails of Reverend Margalie Belazaire and offer her safe and easy passage as she travels to Florida to answer the call of her next congregation. We give thanks for the many blessings of her ministry with us and for the gift of a good goodbye. Wild and chaotic whirlwinds of justice shake us loose from our complacency. Lead us not into catastrophe, but drive us toward collective liberation. Inspire us like you inspired our courageous queer and trans ancestors who took a stand at Compton's cafeteria and Stonewall and chose the life-sustaining truth of authenticity. We hold in our hearts the memory of those whose lives were tragically cut short at Pulse nightclub. May we never forget that there is more work to be done to ensure the safety and well-being of all people. Gentle breeze of compassion and healing, blow softly o'er those who are suffering today with grief and loss and sorrow, physical or emotional pain, struggles with addiction, loneliness and isolation, heartbreak. We especially hold in our hearts the family of Rollin Wilson, who passed away on June 5th. We give thanks for his life, well lived. Just for a moment, winds, be still now, that we might rest together in the mystery of your silence. May the silence we have shared continue to hold us and heal us all. Amen, and blessed be.
All this joy, all this sorrow, all this promise, all this pain, such is life, such is being, such is spirit, such is love. Lyrics from John Denver. I remember my first day here with you, that sunny and cool Saturday last August, when many of you came to welcome me among you and to bring provisions for my home. Many came by car, but some were on foot and bicycles. There were brightly colored handmade signs and hands and on cars, smiles, voices. All this joy, all this promise of a future together in ministry. Beginnings from my experience tend to be full of gladness and hope. I certainly was filled with joy and looking forward to resting in this loving community. Yet, here we are. Such is life, such is being, such is spirit, such is love. We make plans with good intentions and life does what it does. I didn't anticipate saying goodbye to you so soon, just a year after saying hello. And endings, at least to me, have become more and more difficult the longer I journey through life. They can be accompanied with so much grief and sadness. But that's life, it seems. And so I don't want this moment to pass without saying a proper goodbye to you. To tell you how much I have appreciated your company in ministry and loved being your minister. I'm so grateful that our paths have crossed and we got to play a part in each other's ongoing spiritual development. And it is especially important that I take the time to say these things now, for who knows when we'll meet again. And as many of you know, our faith tradition dictates that I suspend contact with you for a period. This is to better help me deal with the grief that is part of leading a ministry and to make space for your new assistant minister, Reverend A.J. Ventine, to give him a chance to be as fully welcomed into this community as I was. And yes, this community does know how to make a minister feel welcome. Thank you for your welcoming and loving nature. Our time together has been marked by a pandemic that was bent on keeping us physically apart. Consequently, we gathered in the ways that we could as a religious community on virtual platforms primarily. Even so, I have been blessed to meet several of you in person, including at the drive up I referred to earlier on that first day in August. I've also visited many of you in your backyards or here on the church grounds. Those opportunities allowed me to connect with you and impressed upon me that hospitality was of great importance to you. I can only hope that those encounters meant as much to you as they meant to me. Thank you for your hospitality, for the hospitality you extended me during my time with you. I will carry that warm energy with me. And even as we gathered online, I'd say we managed to create sacred spaces together from our own individual Zoom rectangles. Some call them square, but they seem more like rectangles to me. I felt your presence, and that enabled me to imagine myself sharing air with you and engaging you in conversations. I'm grateful you found resonance with my ministry and for being open to whatever gifts I shared with you. I was intentional about showing up fully for you and sense that you did the same in return. And so what we created consequently was holy and sacred and beautiful. Thank you for your gift of presence and openness, and they will sustain me in moments when these things are scarce. Such is spirit. Being with you during COVID, I got to see firsthand your love and care for one another, how readily you'd check in on others, how quickly you'd respond when Karen Cuisine put out a call, how you've made sure to bring to mine and Reverend Cherry's attention when you become aware of someone who's experiencing a difficult time so that we would reach out to them. And I've had the pleasure of working with the dedicated folks who serve as pastoral care associates, bearing witness to them answering yes when there was a need. You've probably seen their names in the Zoom chat during Sunday worship listed as chat chaplain. They do much behind the scenes to help tend to the well-being of this congregation. Thank you for your compassion. I will carry the loving and caring spirit I found here with me. I've also had the good fortune of working directly with the committed folks who put together the Soul Matters packets. And if you've come across one of those, you know the quality of that work. Those wonderful volunteers are a wonder to behold as they joyfully labor on those packets. I'm in awe of your passion. Thank you for your dedication. Also, thank you for the Soul Matters facilitators for your contribution to the spiritual growth of the members of this community. To the worship associates, the ushers, thanks for all that you do to make worship happen quietly behind the scenes. And to so many others, such is love. Much gratitude to the senior staff team for your support and your spirit of collaboration. The senior staff, Reverend Cherry, Sheila, Tommy, Shannon, Carol Ann, Kim, thank you. Also, thank you to Renee, the bookkeeper, and Claudia, the office assistant. And a special thanks to John, our sexton. I think I've had more frequent in-person conversations with John than any other staff. Beloveds, I hope you know, you must know how much the staff here loves you and appreciates you, and how seriously they take their responsibilities to you and to this community. You are thought of even when you're not aware of it. Of course, thank you to my preliminary fellowship committee, who I will call by name: Susie Farrell, Megan Garvey, Jenny Koss, Ajamu Kitwana, Tim Farnham, and John Dancy. Thank you so much for being interested in my success as a minister, for supporting me, for feedback, for cheering me on, and for your time and energy. And to each and every one of you, the members and friends of this congregation of First Unitarian Church of Rochester, thank you for having invited me to serve as a minister in this community. I urge you to remain vigilant and persistent in your social justice work. Following my sermon on the eighth principle, you picked up where you left off from that work and successfully voted to adopt the eighth principle just a couple of weeks ago, perhaps motivated by the words of the children, the wonderful children of this congregation. You are also working on, once again, earning the distinction of being a welcoming congregation. May you have success in this, and may you continue to show up in the larger community advocating for the marginalized. Finally, it is not lost on me that the announcement of my leave came as a shock to many of you. After all, I did just get here. That decision to leave might seem like a broken promise, leaving you with a sense of betrayal and possibly some anger. I hear you and I honor your feelings. I encourage you to feel what you feel and think what you think without guilt or apology. And know that this community, this strong and resilient heart of this community has space to hold it all. And in situations such as this one, where you were left possibly at a loss and maybe a bit confused, your feelings are appropriate and perhaps even necessary. What I can tell you from the deepest part of me is that I leave you with a heavy heart. And I did not make this decision lightly. I have felt at home with you and loved being a part of this community. And there was no lack on your part as a congregation that moved me to my decision. I have learned from you, and I will miss you tremendously and will grieve what I had hoped would be a long-term relationship. Know that I love you and care for you. And I have felt lucky to have had the privilege of being at your side on your spiritual journey, however brief that might have been. I will carry you with me. All this joy, all this promise, all this pain, such is life, such is being, such is spirit, such is love.
We're Susie Farrell and Julie Sanchez, members of the lay pastoral care team that Reverend Margulie helped reestablish, as well as members of the search team that brought Reverend Margulie here. Today, we bid her farewell.
Our church is always changing. The people change, we learn and grow. We change our minds, our bodies change. And if we're lucky and allow it, our hearts are transformed. The call to listen, open, and serve can change our lives.
A church is always changing. The people change. Babies are born, children grow up, beloveds die, newcomers arrive, bringing new visions and perspectives. And some, like Reverend Margalie today and Julie next week, move away to new experiences and opportunities. We mark this transition as a new beginning for you, Reverend Margalie, and an ending of this particular ministry in this particular place.
Reverend Margalie, we are grateful for your year of ministry among us. We thank you for your compassion, your creativity, and your courage. We celebrate what we've been able to do together and forgive and release all that is left undone.
We have been changed by your presence among us, and we ask that you leave this place, you bring the best of your memories with you. Remember both our strengths and our places of growth as lessons of religious community.
Do you, Reverend Margalie, release the duties of your ministry among us? Do you release this congregation from turning to you in times of transition or need? And do you offer your encouragement to all who might follow?
Yes, I do.
And we, on behalf of the congregation, release you from the duties of your ministry among us here, for all your gifts among us, and for the love that you have yet to pour out into the world. We give thanks.
Spirit of life and love, source of endings and beginnings, may Reverend Margalie be blessed on her journey.
She goes surrounded by our love and our hope, with grace and loving kindness. Blessed be, and amen.
Please join me now in singing Reverend Margalie's favorite hymn, Just as Long as I Have Breath.
Just as long as I have breath, I must answer yes to life. Though with pain I meet my way, still with hope I meet each day. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to life. Just as long as vision lasts, I must answer yes to truth. In my dreams and in my dark, always that elusive spark. If they ask what I did well, tell them I said yes to truth. Just as long as my heart beats, I must answer yes to love. Disappointment pierced me through, still I kept on loving you. If they ask what I did best, tell them I said yes to love.
Please join me now in saying our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
I bless you with loving kindness. May your love and caring nature bring you joy. May your resilience sustain you and keep your heart open. May you always find your space in this community. And finally, I bless you individually with a clear and focused mind, with love in your heart, with an open heart, and with a body that supports you in your life's work. And may you be at ease.